All right, welcome, welcome. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome to my Tuesday night live. Y'all know I do my Tuesday night live, and we do Tuesday and Thursdays now live. But that was her and Skip Marley. For your listening pleasure. For those on YouTube and Facebook, you cannot hear it, but that is Skip Marley and her. So, um, so look, we are going to talk tonight. All right, we are going to talk tonight. So I got to tell y'all what happened. I got to tell y'all what happened to one of my clients, right? And y'all know that I'm a communications strategist, expert, if you will. I'm good at it. I'm great. Matter of fact, I'm great at it. And she used one of my theories, one of my strategies. And she called me tonight. And all of a sudden, I was like, she was like, Coach, I got to tell you. She said, it worked what you said. I was like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, but she was. And so tonight we're going to talk about that. Somebody says, Coach, what if a man never asks for anything, but he shows you he loves you, but all of a sudden he ghosts you? Ooh, that means that something changed in the relationship. Something changed, something changed from his viewpoint or perspective. All right. So before we get into class tonight, we're going to have a little fun. We're going to have a little fun. All right. But I need to know if you would tell me your name and where you're checking in from. Your name and where you're checking in from. Because because you could be anywhere in the world tonight, but you are here with me. Someone says, what do you think about long distance relationships? Do you think long distance relationships can work? Yes, I do. I said, but you have to go about it a certain way. We got Deborah from Grand Rapids, Michigan in the building. Courtney from Texas. What part Texas? Stephanie from Houston in the building. Jay from Ohio in the building. Catherine from Atlanta, Georgia in the building. Kimberly from Lubbock, Texas in the building. Lavette from Charlotte, North Carolina, my neck of the woods. Tina from Alabama in the building. All right, who else we got? We got Aubrey. Okay, Aubrey. We got Kel from Trinidad. We got, is that Sade or is that Sadie from Chicago? Jessica from Lubbock. We got Gina from Augusta. What's up, Samantha? What's up, Samantha from West Palm Beach? Liz, my student in the building. Diane from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Michelle from Orlando, Florida in the building. Are in the building. And where's my guy Adam at? I haven't seen Adam in a minute. Adam, he's my friend now. So he used to be my adversary, but we are friends now. Marlene, hey, Queens, New York, in the building. Jamie Atwell from Madison, Wisconsin, in the building. All right. So tonight, y'all, tonight's session, get your pens, get your pad, get your paper. Because you know, every time you see me, I'm going to teach you something. So tonight, I had a client who had a need in her relationship. And every time she felt like she had this need, right? But it wasn't getting met. The need was not getting met. And so, I said, well, are you communicating in a way to get your needs met? And she said, yes. Okay. And then she told me, and so I asked her, how were you communicating to get your needs met? All right. And when she told me how she communicated, I looked at her like this. Look at my face, y'all. And why did I look at her like that? I looked at her like that because I realized once I heard what she was doing, I knew instantly it was not going to be effective. And many of you have needs, you have expectations, but you don't know how to get them met. You don't know how to communicate in a way that gets your needs met. And so tonight, we're going to be talking about communicating to get your needs met. And, we just going to talk. And so at the end of this, some of you know that I'm doing a challenge coming up. And this challenge is a communication challenge. It's about communicating with emotionally unavailable people. But you're going to learn how to get your needs met when the person you're communicating with is avoidant. Okay? They don't talk. They get silent. They shut down. But you don't know what to do when they shut down. And so I'm doing a challenge. I'm doing a challenge in March. But as you know, some of you know, I've been doing these free sessions. And I'm going to do these free sessions till the end of the month, and then I will determine whether I will go till the end of March. That'll be my last month ever doing them. And I don't mind doing the free sessions. I actually like them. I like them because I get to touch and speak to people who follow me all over the world. I get to do that. But I found out something else after doing this. I found out something else. And here's what I found out. What I found out is most people who meet with me, they don't want to change. They don't want to change. Most people that meet with me, and I'm okay with that, I'm still going to keep doing the sessions, the free sessions, the free 30-minute sessions. All right. But most people don't want to change. They don't have a desire to change. What they want is they want me to confirm what they already feel. So today, I had a session with the lady today who told me what was wrong in the relationship. And I said, well, if you already know what's wrong in the relationship, why did you call me? Why'd you call me? Since you already have the answer, why did you call me? And so as she begins talking, continued to talk, I said, the truth is, what's wrong with your relationship is you think that you're always right. She said, that's what he always says. I said, you think that you're right and you don't listen to anybody else. She was like, wow, that's what he says. I said, okay, anything else I can do for you? And she just sat there dumbfounded because I realized that the truth is she did not want to hear what I had to say. She did not want to fix anything. She just wanted me to tell her she was right. But I did not tell her she was right because she wasn't right, y'all. Anyway, So what I'm finding out, y'all, I am getting a lot of men as well. No, I'm not gonna say she was. Somebody said they're also a narcissist. Narcissist, yeah, that term is used entirely too much. Most people are not narcissists. True narcissists, there are 17 indicators. True narcissists have at least 13 or 14. Most every single person could be considered a narcissist because you all have 3 to 4 to 5 or 6 of these these narcissistic traits. That term is used quite a bit, but most people don't know what it means to be a true narcissist. I don't have time to do it tonight, but one day I may do it. But I got a friend of mine who actually teaches on narcissism, and he's super good. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about, just like tonight we're going to talk about communicating to get your needs met. Communicating to get your needs met. And at the end of this, um, if you want to book a free session, if you're interested in coming to my challenge, um, you can book the session or you can come to the challenge. And the challenge is going to be 5 days of me teaching. It's going to be amazing. All right. So, but before we get to that, I want to talk about this. How many of you, by show of, just put one in the comment section. How many of you would say that you are a good communicator? How many? Okay, now first, put a 1 if you think you are a good communicator. Put a 2 if you think that you're not necessarily a good communicator. All right. And it's going to be funny how many 1s I'm going to get. I see a lot of 1s. Oh my goodness. And it's funny because when I see 1s, I already know that you're not a great communicator. I already know the answer, but I just wanted to see how many people think they're a good communicator. So let me give you the litmus test. So for those of you who think you're a good communicator, I want to ask you a question. Has there ever been a time that you either didn't say something to someone because, number one, you didn't know how they were going to react or how they were going to feel about what you were going to say, or number 2, or you just didn't know what to say? If that is you, put a 3 in the chat. Listen to what I'm saying. Have you ever wanted to communicate something, but you didn't say it because either, number 1, you didn't know how to say it, or number 2, you in fear of how they would react. Okay? Now, so I see the 3s coming up. If you have answered 3 to any one of these, you are probably not a good communicator. That is my litmus test. Now, PK Chronicles, you said you were a good communicator, but you answered 3 to that. So that tells me you're not as good as you think you are. And I don't mean this to throw shade at anybody. That's not my purpose. My purpose is to show you are not as good as you think you are. Okay? Because you say it, because you're willing to say it, does not mean that you're a great communicator. Or let me say great, effective communicator. So tonight's topic is communicating to get your needs met. I'm going to give you 4 points. So let's get started. I just got started. How many of you think you're a great communicator? And most of you don't get your needs met, not because the other person is unwilling to meet your needs. That is a misnomer. There are some people who don't want to meet your needs. They don't really care about meeting your needs. But I'm not necessarily talking about them. And so what we're going to talk about is, how do you communicate to get your needs met? Now, I'm going to give it to you in the broader sense. And for those of you who want to have a session with me, I'm still doing the free 30-minute sessions this month. I will tell you how to reach out to me to get a 30-minute session with either me or my lead coach and my academy coach, Rose. But I am doing most of them. However, my schedule is super booked. Okay. Because let me say this, if you don't show up for your session, if you book a session and you don't show up, you can't meet with me again, ever. You can't even pay me to meet with you. You can't even pay for a session. So that's how serious that I take it. All right. So the first thing I want you to understand is that when you communicate your needs, all right, when you communicate your needs, right? There's a process by which you need to understand. And here's the process you need to understand, that you must not assume because you're saying it, because you're willing to say what the need is that it is effective to the other person. Okay? You must not assume that because you're willing to say it, it's effective. Because I want you to understand what the communication loop is. The communication loop is, first, there is a message. Then there is a sender who sends the intended message. Notice I say the intended message because there is an intended message, meaning that you want the other person to get the meaning behind the message that you're sending. You're not just sending a message because you want to send it, but you want the other person to get the meaning by which you're sending. Then the message goes to the sender. Goes to the receiver. Forgive me, receiver. Then the receiver receives the message. After they receive the message, okay, now they attach a meaning to the message you sent. They attach a meaning to it. And then they send back a response to you based on the meaning they gathered from the message. And then they send you a message. So this is called the communication loop. All right? Now, it's called the communication loop. Now, what happens when you send a message to somebody, you're in a relationship, and you feel that the person is not helping you with the children. The person is not helping you domestically. The person is not giving you enough attention, quality time. And so you send the message, or you don't send it, or you get silent, and then you just be quiet. But that's another thing. We'll get into that in a minute. But then you send the message. And when you send the message to the person, all right, then the person does not understand or interprets your meaning to be the meaning that you wanted them to interpret. And then the other person hears it and gets triggered by your message. And so then the other person sends back a message based on them being triggered. And that was not your intention. So I tell people, I said, listen, y'all, the truth is, how many times when you had a need? You have a need and it's a sensitive need. Maybe the person is not meeting your sexual needs. Hey, Sierra, hey there. I added you to my list. I promise you I'm gonna call you soon. I already got you down for a month. We hadn't talked about it. You're gonna come into my academy and teach. All right. So here's the thing, y'all. The thing is this. How many times have you wanted to tell somebody something sensitive? You had a need or an expectation in the relationship, okay? And then you don't communicate that expectation properly. And then the other person attaches a meaning to it, and it's not good. Okay? Has that ever happened? Oh, yeah, sure it has. But then what about this? You have a meaning, but you're scared of how the other person is going to take the meaning. And what you do is you don't tell them. You just get silent. And then it just festers inside you. You have a need in the relationship, or you have an expectation in the relationship. But because you don't know how to communicate it, or because you feel like the other person is going to take the message and not get your intended meaning, so what do? You get silent. You get quiet and you just let it brew. You let it come inside you, and then it just manifests something else, and it turns to anger. Then it turns to resentment, turns to rejection, frustration. Does that sound like anybody that I know? And then you just hold it inside because you don't know how to communicate effectively. It might be that you don't know how to communicate with a certain attachment style or a person with a communication style. You might think that they're going to get all upset and you don't know how to do it. So let's get started. I'm going to give you the broad things. I'm going to give you Mandy says, it's crazy this live popped up. My husband literally just got mad and walked out because I asked him a question about what some girl at work, what some girl does at work. Like, why are you so upset about a question if she's nobody? It's probably the way you asked it, Mandy. Probably the way you asked it. I'm just saying. So here's what I'm going to tell y'all. So for those of y'all at the end of this, I'm still going to let y'all book a session with me for those of y'all doing the 30-minute sessions. Let me get started. Number one. All right. Here's the thing. Before you communicate your needs, number one, you have to identify what the need is you have and why you have it. See, listen to what I'm saying. If you have a need or an expectation that you need to communicate, the first thing that you must do, you must decipher, identify the needs you have. Because if I'm telling a person, I want you to come to bed early, all right, that's my expectation. Why? Because I have a need, but you don't know what that need is. You just telling the person come to bed early. And you never explain to the person why you have the need, why you want to be together at that particular time. So most of us just say what it is we want, but you never identify what the need or expectation is. What is my need? Okay, my need is I want you to spend quality time with the children, right? All right. Now, why do I want that? If you don't tell your partner why you want it, I want it because my mother never spent time with me. I want it because I am estranged from my parents because I'm estranged from my parents because I never had that. But when you explain your need in context of not only what the need is, what the expectation is, but why you have it, most of us have never explained why we want the things that we want, why it is we want it. Because most of us we've never taken the time to understand why it is we want what we want. We've never understood why it is we want it. We've never understood what it is we want. So my wife explained something to me one day. She explained to me why she does a particular thing, okay? Why she asked me to do a particular thing. I thought she was just asking me for, I don't know why. I'm like, but it didn't make any sense to me for her to ask this thing. But one day I was explaining to her, I said, if you have a need, honey, just tell me what that need is and explain to me why you need it so I will have context, so I will understand, so I won't dismiss it, so I will understand it and I will give it the proper value that it deserves. Ever since I told her that, she was like, wow, I never explained why I needed this or why I had this expectation. And so now when she tells me something, she not only tells me what it is she's desiring, but she tells me why she's desiring it. Y'all, this is so powerful. But most of us just want to tell somebody something. We just want to tell them and hope they just need to do it because I said it. No, I want to give you a study. And I told my class this. There was a study done, and there were 100 people in line. All right. And they did the study. And what they said was they asked 100 people that could we break in front of you, break the line? Okay, can we just and they never gave these people a reason why they wanted to get in front of the line. Okay, now 71%, 72% of the people said no, you cannot get in front of me. Okay, the same study. Here's what they did. They just changed one thing. They gave the same thing. They asked the people, hey, can we break in line? Can we get in front? But at this time, they gave the participants a reason why they wanted to get in front. And one of them said, hey, I need to pick up my children from school. Can I break in front of you? Can I get in front of you? Do you know 77% of the people, after they gave a reason why, said, yes, you can get in front of me? Now, this is so powerful. When I read this study, I said it is so powerful because we communicate with people. We always sometimes, not always, but we make a request. We have an expectation, or we have a need. We simply say the need, or we don't, but we never tell the people why we need it. And so, the first thing that I want you to do and to understand is that you must say what and you say why. Number two, listen to me carefully. Oh, this is so important. You must come to the person when you're asking, communicating your need in the right energy. So most of us, most of the people I coach, you ever notice how when you're communicating with someone, you will, and you don't hardly say what it is you need or what it is you desire until you get angry, until you get frustrated, until you get upset. And then what you do is you tell the person what it is that you need. You don't never do this. You never spend time with me, but you can go out with your friends. Now, your need is to spend quality time. But what you do is you point to an area of that person's life that when they're not exhibiting the thing that you desire, right? So here's what I tell people. I say, one of the dumbest things, and some of you are going to not like what I'm about to say, one of the dumbest and most destructive things that you can do is match someone's energy. I hear people say, well, I'm going to match energy. I'm going to match energy. First of all, let me tell you why this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because do you know when you match energy, you get more of the same energy? For instance, you ever notice how when people get mad and get angry, then the other person gets angry with them. And they say, well, I'm going to just match your energy. Let me tell you why that's dumb. Because when you combine more of that energy, you get more of the energy. Now watch this. I told my people in my class this, it was so powerful. I said, when you match energy, like for instance, when you match anger, the anger, because it's built up, it has to be released. The anger has to go somewhere. That is why when people get so mad, what do? They slam the door, or they start a fight, or they kill each other, or shoot each other, because the energy has to be released somehow. And so what I tell people is, I said, if you want to communicate and get your need met, is you don't match energy, you diffuse energy. Wow. Now, how do you diffuse energy? Let me show you. This is powerful right here. This is so powerful. Whenever you're communicating your need, or communicating an expectation, what you do is you show what you tell. Listen to me closely. You tell the person what you're feeling, but you don't show what you're feeling. And they might say, what? I bet some of y'all are saying, what, coach? Now listen to what I'm saying. You tell the person, you know what? I'm angry. I'm angry right now. And the reason I'm angry is blank. I'm frustrated right now. The reason I'm frustrated is blank. When I tell you, when I tell you what my emotion is, but you don't see my emotion, here's what happens. Now the other person focuses on the message and not the messenger. Because think about it, when you get hot, when you get mad, don't people get an attitude with you because you got an attitude? Don't you get an attitude with people because they got an attitude? Yes. But the difference is when I tell you my emotion, but I don't show you my emotion, all of a sudden you want to hear, well, why are you mad? Why are you frustrated? I'm frustrated because blank, blank, blank. I'm sad because of blank, blank, blank. Y'all, this this methodology is so powerful. I've used it, and I've used it. Um, Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Most of us, we think we can communicate good until we get triggered. So when you get triggered, y'all ever notice how when you get triggered, all bets are off? You ever notice how when you get triggered, when you get mad, when you get upset, all bets are off? Because most of the times when you communicate poorly, well, not all the time, but a lot of the times when you communicate poorly is when you get triggered. And that is when you say what it is you gotta say. All right. That's when you know, um, and so when I'm telling y'all, somebody just asked, you're talking about people who know how to communicate. No, I'm talking to people who don't know how to communicate. I'm talking to everybody because most people don't think they know how to communicate, but they don't. Prayers, what's that? Prayers of a divorcee. That's what I'm talking about. Now, all I'm gonna say to you is this. The things that I teach people in communicating, I've saved so many relationships. You know why I've saved so many relationships? Because I understand. And you said, what if they stonewall you and you get nothing? I can teach. I'm gonna teach that in my new challenge. When a person stonewalls, how do you communicate with a person that stonewalls? I don't have time tonight. Right now, I'm just giving you general things that I tell people to do. All right. Now, the third thing I want you to do is when you want to communicate your needs. The third thing is you have to learn how to say it. And so that's where a coach like me comes in. So the thing is, I teach my people how to get masters at I language. When instead of I language is when you tell someone something using I this. Instead of saying, you did this to me, you are doing this, you are not meeting my needs. Instead of doing that, I teach my people how to use I language. Here's what I noticed. I noticed this. I noticed that when we're talking, you raise your voice. I noticed that. I feel I feel like my voice isn't heard. I feel like blank. I need to feel like I am heard in a relationship. I simply want to be heard. Now, notice what I'm doing. I'm telling you what you're doing, but I'm using I language. Now, I language is so powerful. Why is it powerful? Because when you use you language, you this, you that, you blankety blank blank, the other person feels attacked. The brain perceives it as I'm being attacked. But whenever you use I language, I this, here's how I feel about what I've noticed. I blank. I feel disrespected. I feel minimized. I feel devalued. And so the other person listening to it does not think that you're attacking them. And most of us, let me say this, most people don't know how to use it because if you've never been trained, I train my people how to communicate effectively. How many of you now? I said we will be on for 35 minutes, so I'm about to wrap this up. How many of you know that you need to communicate better? How many of you know that your relationship would be better if you communicated better? How many of you know that your dating would be better? Y'all, I'm telling you, like I know what I know. The number one reason relationships fail, the number one reason is because of uncommunicated needs and expectations. Think about it. You have a need, you have an expectation, but you don't say it. But you don't say it, but you feel it. And then you begin resenting the person because they've never met this need. You begin resenting the person. You begin getting angry with the person because they're not meeting your need. And so it's because you don't know how to communicate that need. And so it is my mission. I repaired relationships. I put couples together because I'm teaching people how to communicate. So I've got a challenge coming up. And the challenge is called Beyond the Silence, communicating with the emotionally unavailable people. For those of you who are interested in coming, for 5 days, y'all just get a little snippet here. But for 5 days, I'm going to go so deep into communication. And I'm going to challenge each of you to communicate better, to make your relationship better, because you're going to have assignments every single day. And for those of you who are interested in it, all you have to do is go up to my bio. Go up to my bio, whichever platform you're on, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and click on my bio. And you'll see the link tree, my link tree, and you'll see the challenge, communicating with emotionally unavailable people. Let me say this to y'all. Some of y'all relationship gonna be saved as a result of coming to my challenge. Some of y'all gonna be able to find the person of your dreams. And some people think, well, why should I communicate with a person who is emotionally unavailable? Well, the problem is that you don't know why they're emotionally unavailable, and you don't know how they arrived there. Is it because they're afraid of being abandoned, rejected? You don't know that mom told them to shut up. You don't know that mom told you, you know what, you should be seen and not heard. You don't understand it, and until you understand how to go beneath the surface how to go beneath the surface and how to peel the layers back, you'll still get the same result. All of us are emotionally unavailable about some topic in our life. All right, just being honest. And here's what I'm gonna say: if you're not true, if you're not sure, and you want me, I'm still giving out the free sessions, 30-minute sessions. All you have to do to get a 30-minute session. But listen, y'all, before I give you the information, I'm not here to jest. I'm doing these free sessions. I told God that I'm gonna do these for 3 months. I said 2 months. I might do it for 3, but I'm only doing it because this is my way of giving back. All right. And look, but when you come to me, I'm going to tell you what's wrong. I'm going to. Now, some of you don't want to hear it. I've been through these sessions now. I get tickled by it because I'm like, a lot of people don't want to hear it, but it's my job to tell you. But so if you're interested in booking a session, you want to know about communication, what's going on in your relationship, I'm giving 30 minutes of my time for free. All you have to do is email my team, and my team will set it up at coachkencanion, coachkencanion@gmail.com. That's coachkencanion@gmail.com. And simply say, hey, coach, want a free session? My team will send you back something to get your availability and all of that. And we'll plug you in. Either me or my lead coach, Coach Rose, will meet with you. Now, some of y'all won't get me. Most of y'all will, because my schedule is super booked. But she's good, qualified. She's very good. So what I'm saying to you is this, is if you want a free session, I'm doing this because one of these days, I'm gonna stop doing these free sessions. And my normal session is $495. So I'm gonna stop doing these. I'm offering them for anybody. Anybody. Doesn't matter whether you're in the UK, Canada, US, it doesn't matter. But email me at coach, COACH, Ken, KEN, Canyon, CANION at gmail.com. coachkencanion@gmail.com and say, hey, coach, I want the 30-minute session. I need your help. I need to communicate better or whatever it is. All right. That's it. I'll be on Thursday, y'all. I do Tuesday and Thursday lives. So y'all look for me around 8:30 or 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock each and every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, y'all. That is my time. Y'all have a great evening. Peace.